Hey people, how are y'all doing? This is Ed from Last Lap Lion and welcome to my review video of the 2022 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. This won't be a particularly long video because there wasn't a huge amount to speak about in this race, wasn't the most eventful race, but I'll try and pick out the best talking points in the race and say a thing or two about them. Largely uneventful start and first lap. I'd say the one thing which was interesting was the incident on the first lap between Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton. Lewis being forced off the track at exactly the same place where he was forced off by Max last year with similar results, although his car definitely seemed to take some damage with that big bounce over the curb and seemingly managing to find a curb in the middle of nowhere with a surprisingly big bounce off it, it's got to be said. And that was the one vaguely interesting talking point, I would say, in the first lap or two. Curious pace by Mercedes all the way through the race. Again, I'd say the Mercedes W13 yet again failing to have good pace or have consistent pace throughout a race, as it has done so many times this year. So really, yet again, not an impressive performance by that car. I think Lewis Hamilton and George Russell both did a great job with it, did the best job they possibly could have done with it, but yet again, the car was just such hard work. I bet that Mercedes are really glad to be throwing that one in the bin now. Brilliant drive by Charles Leclerc, I thought, to make a second place out of pretty much nothing. I think yet again he outperformed the car, and it shows how much Ferrari's performance has slumped down relative to Red Bull, that he was not ever realistically in the same race as Max this race, and was just able, with an inspired performance, to hold off Checo in the closing laps for second place. So, brilliant drive by Charles Leclerc. A finishing order for the race which was very symbolic of the championship, I think. Well done, Max, on a 15th win of the season. That is just super awesome. Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. Seems that those two can't leave each other alone during an Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Not a significant incident from the point of view of influencing the race at all, but certainly was an amusing collision between those two with all the history attached to it, let's say. Lewis Hamilton's breakdown in the final 3 laps of the race, I think, was just thoroughly symbolic of the Mercedes W13's season. As such a disappointing car, I think it summed up the season that the final few laps of the last race of the season, it breaks down. And that is yet another disastrous end to an Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the reprofiled layout for Lewis. I don't think this reprofiled layout in Abu Dhabi has been lucky for him at all during the final laps of a race. But I think there is a technical term for the Mercedes W13 car. I think an accurate technical description is good solid final race for Seb Vettel. I thought at least his final race for now, assuming he doesn't come back and race again at some point in future. Great final performance from him. Having a good fight with Lance Stroll, and also great fight with Daniel Ricciardo at the end. I think Seb has been such an inspiration over his time in F1. He's certainly, for the vast majority of his career, been my favourite, or one of my favourite drivers, and there are so many positive moments for Seb. Thinking about the time that Seb has been in F1, so many positive moments that he's given me as an F1 fan during that time. I think it's been amazing. Miss him a lot, although it hasn't been fun these last few years seeing him underperform so much compared with the results in races that we know he's capable of, winning races and winning championships. So it's a shame to lose such an amazing driver from F1, but at the same time, it isn't sad to stop seeing him underperform so badly, because he deserves to do better than that, and as fans I think we all want to see him do better than that if he's racing. So Seb's time in F1 has just been amazing. I think it's very symbolic of what a special driver he's been, that there was such a special meal put on for him the night before the race. I think, I understand Lewis Hamilton picked up the tab for it, and it came to £140,000 or the equivalent of. Fortunately, there wasn't a cost cap on that one. But thoroughly deserved. And one of the most special and thought-provoking, poignant even, things that moments that Seb has given us, I would say, as F1 fans, is the message that he said on the radio to Rocky after the 2013 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix about treasuring these special moments because they won't last forever. And that has proven to be so prophetic. So that has really been the icing on a cake of an amazing F1 career from Seb. So thanks for all the good memories, Seb, and it would be nice to see you back in F1 at some point, I won't lie, as a fan, but if you don't ever come back, then thanks so much for the memories. So that is my pretty quick abbreviated review of the 2022 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That's 2022 done. Look forward to seeing you in 2023, people.